the artist. You know, I know people talk about turning Texas blue, but let me just say it out loud. Texas ought not to be red, and it ought not to be blue. It ought to be red, white, and blue. Yeah. So how many of you think agriculture touches your life every day? Okay? You Dems get it. It takes Republicans a little bit longer. Every time you put a gallon of gas in your car, what do you see on that pump? A sticker. Department of Ag, absolutely. All right? How many of you think that the 3 million children that go to Texas schools, just like she said, deserve a decent meal at least once a day? Your Department of Ag does that. Let's go to the other end of the spectrum. How many of you have ever delivered Meals on Wheels? Right? How many of you think that those that are infirmed, our seniors, our handicapped, ought to have a decent meal every day? Your Department of Ag does that. Now, let's come to the Senate. How many grocery shoppers have I got out there? Gentlemen, 6-pack of beer is not considered groceries. Right. Do you expect that when you pull that meat off the shelf or that dozen eggs, that it's safe for you to serve to your family? Yeah. Department of Ag does that. Absolutely. So we've got the young, we've got the old, we got us folks in the middle. But here's the thing that Ag does that really speaks to my heart. Rural development. Do you know that? Yeah. Our job is to basically be a catalyst for rural development. Now, I am from Mineral Wells, Texas. It is a town unhampered by time and progress. But there are lots of Mineral Wells, Texans in Texas, aren't there? Yep. And here's what we've forgotten. And like America, rural Texas built the cities that we have today. That Texas was built on the back of rural Texans. And what America showed us is that they were angry in 2016. Would you not agree? Because they feel left out. They feel forgotten somehow. So what the Ag Department can do is be a catalyst, be an engine, if you will, for economic development in rural Texas. And I'm going to tell you a story. So there's a young grower kind of working there in Mineral Wells, Texas. I'm going to kill myself on these stars. I see this coming. And we're sitting on his porch, and normally I am not in an outfit like this because I'm a grower. I'm in my prairie hag outfit, and no, gentlemen, it's not something you can hunt. And I said to him, Jim Dell Farms, look him up. I said, what would you tell the Commissioner of Ag if you could have a few minutes with her? And he said, you know, you see that land across the street? Now, let me describe the land because it looks a little bit, because I've been driving around Smithville, that you might have land like this. It's abandoned. There's buildings tumbling down, the fence is coming apart, weeds are all covering it. He said, the problem with that land is I would like it. I said, you do, why don't you buy it? He says, I can't because there's back taxes on it, $8,000 worth of back taxes, and the land's only worth about $2,000. I said, well, if you could get a hold of the land, what would you do? He said, if I could get a hold of that land right there, I'd put crops on it. But it's too much for me to handle, so I would hire somebody. See where we're going? See, once again, Democrats get it just like that. It takes me 5 more steps to get the Republicans in line. So if he gets something growing in that land, he can hire Billy Bob down here in the Double Wide. And if we can get Billy Bob a working job, he can help his family and his little kids can go to soccer, right? And if his children go to soccer and they're in athletics, how many teachers I got in the room? Do kids eat and have athletics? Do they learn better? Yes, they do. You see where I'm going with this? It is. It's not that hard. The deal is, you got to listen to people where they are. You got to listen to where they are. So let me pivot a little bit, and I'm going to tell you what your party is doing for you. We're here, and we're listening. Your chairman, Gilberto Hinojosa, has toured over 100 counties in this state, and me, your number, 37. And I'm going to do all 254. And I'm going to do it not because I want the great county countdown. I want to do it because I need to listen to what your issues are. Because guess what? If you build Texas, my guess is you're pretty smart. You can figure out what you need in your own backyard. And when you elect me to be your Commissioner of Agriculture, then I can bring those ideas into Austin. And not just Austin, because here's why. Agriculture matters to Texas because it is 1/3 of your GDP. Now I want you to think about this. Who is our number 2 trading partner? Mexico. Do you think it is economically beneficial to build a wall between us and our number 2 trading partner? No. The answer to that would be a big no. Maine may not care about a wall in Texas, but we should care. Now, how many of you like your tomatoes and your avocados? Right? And where do they come from? The valley, right? Our produce come from the valley, doesn't it? How many of you are going to go down to the valley and pick? I don't see a hand in the audience, but there are people who will. And as a grower, if I can't get decent labor to come in and pick my produce, what happens to the produce in the fields? It rots. Yeah, I know we got crop insurance, but it's never enough. And that farmer is done for a year. It's not like an assembly line where you can just slow it down because he's having labor issues. We need decent immigration policy because it matters to Texas economy. And there are lots of states in which agriculture matters to them. So if you can get with the other ag commissioners and you can go to DC and you can tell them how terrible and how hurtful this is for our state economically, then maybe we've got something in the game. So let me tell you what else your party's doing for you. Part of your job, I think, candidates, if I may be so bold, is to inspire the troops. Because here's the deal. As a statewide candidate, I'm probably not going to knock doors. I'm probably not going to register people to vote. And I'm probably not going to hang signs. Who gets to do that?
We do!
I'm sorry, let me ask that question again. I believe your president had asked twice, but we'll get him. We're learning, okay. How many of you get to do that? Part of a candidate's job is to inspire you to get out. And this ain't the prom. Nobody's got to ask you to come. Show up, and you got to show up with your neighbors, because it isn't enough to vote anymore. It isn't enough to make the change. You got to vote, and you got to bring people with you to vote too. So no self-respecting pilot ever gets a platform or a mic without a story. So there I was. And I'm going to tell you about a story of my time in Iraq. It was 2003, and how many vets have I got in the room? Roger, thank you for your service. And at that time, I wasn't doing warfare like I had normally done at 30,000 feet. I was down at 3 feet, which gave me great respect for my Army brethren and sisters who do that business that close. And I was in Baghdad right after it fell, and we were there to rebuild the country. But because we didn't have a green zone, and we weren't wearing flak vests, and they weren't shooting at us yet, we had a run of the country. I could go to mosques and marketplaces and Iraqi homes. And if you visit an Iraqi home, they are very hospitable people. They'll share anything they have and a small glass of warm, sweet tea. Kind of like Texans, but we put our tea over ice, don't we? Right? So one afternoon, I found myself in an Iraqi home, and true to form, they're going to share anything they have with you. But in that part of the world, men and women segregate. The men go to the parlor to visit, and the women and the kids disappear into the back. Help me out here, ladies. If you want to build a healthy, sustaining democracy, who had you better talk to?
The ladies.
Say it with me, girls. Women. Hang on, gentlemen. Not because it's right and wrong, because we demand different things from our society. So when we entered this Iraqi apartment, I was torn. Parlor, kitchen. But I followed the woman back into the kitchen, leaned in, I said, "You speak English?" "Yes, most Iraqis do." I said, "Tell me, what can I do for you? What can I tell the all-male leadership team you need?" She kind of sized me up and down, had a little 9-year-old standing next to her, and whips the kid around in front of her, and she says, "The children." And I drew a long sigh, because it was my daughter's 12th birthday. And it was the 6th one I had missed in service to my country. So I got the children. And I said, "Yes, tell me what I can do for you and the children." "Get them back in school. They're driving me crazy," she said. I said, "Honey, by August in America, we are ready to drop kick our kids out the front door." But what did that mother know? Who is the future of that country? That now 20-year-old we hope is in Baghdad University. And never, ever underestimate an educated woman, because she is a force to reckon with. But what else did that mom know? If I can get the kid out of the house, I can go to the market. If I can go to the market, I can buy produce from a grower. If I can buy produce from a grower, he can hire people to work on his farms. You see where I'm going with this? She knew that she was the economic engine in her own neighborhood. So let me spin this. Who are the political engines in our neighborhood? You are. Every single one of you are engines of change, are engines to make things better for your neighbors, for yourself, or for your families. You have the power right there. And if you don't like what's going on in our food system, let me lay it out to you this way. What is the greatest power you have at your fingertips, men and women? Money. Where you spend your money drives what companies do. You don't like GMOs? Don't buy them. You don't like food that's not labeled? Don't bring it in your house. You don't want your children to have diabetes by the time they're time? Stop buying sugar products. Walmart didn't bring organics into their store because they became socially conscious one day. Because it was profitable. But let me offer you this. There are lots of growers near you. Buy from them. Buy from them. Be their engine. So I get to close with a couple things that I need you in action, just like the candidates before me. I need you to do a couple things. I want 3 things from you. I want your time, I want your treasure, and I want some of your talent. Give me one of the 3. We have sign-up boards in the back. You want to volunteer, work this campaign, I'll take your time. If you don't have it, we've got envelopes. I need some of your treasure. Not a lot of it, just some of it. That's the realities of running for office. But the best part, the thing I really want from you, is your talents. I want you to give it to your local president. I want you to give it to your precinct chairs. Give them your talents. Because as we say in the military, it is a force multiplier. You with me?
Oh, yeah.
And I swore I was going to run a candidacy where I am for something, but not against someone, right?
Right.
But let me just ask you this. Your current Commissioner of Agriculture. Okay, enough said. And here's why it's important. I work in the soil every day. Every day I work on that land. It is hard work. It's a tight profit margin to make money in agriculture these days. It is dangerous. You're part of the food chain out there. So I want a leader who is serious about the business that I do of agriculture. The Department of Agriculture is a $500 million budget and 1,000 employees. They deserve, exactly like she said, a leader that is worthy of the work they do in this great state. And with that, I'm going to close and I'm allowed to open the floor for questions. Is that right, Michelle? Okay. So, give me the hard ones. Anybody got a question for me? She's running away. That's not good.